Free Isak. That's my message on this video. Free Isak. Enough of the lies. Enough of spreading false propaganda. Enough of making Isak to be out this villain when he isn't. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Make sure you guys are liking. Make sure you guys are subscribing. Share this video everywhere as well. And let me just get straight into it. Let's just go and read exactly what Alexander Isak posted on his Instagram story that started everything that have happened, you get me, today. Isak, as you guys can see, the tick is there. I'm proud to be recognized by my fellow professionals with a place in the PFA Premier League team of the season for 24-25. First and foremost, I want to thank my teammates and everyone at Newcastle United who has supported me along the way. I'm not at the ceremony tonight. With everything going on, it didn't feel right to be there. I've kept quiet for a long time while others have spoken. The silence has allowed people to push their own version of the events, even though they know it doesn't reflect what was really said and agreed behind closed doors. The reality is that promises were made and the club has known my position for a long time. To now act as if those issues are only emerging is misleading. When promises are broken and trust is lost, the relationship can't continue. That's where things are for me right now, and why change is the best interest of everyone, not just myself. Craig Hope, who is a Newcastle journalist, then proceeds to tell us what the broken promises were about this whole situation. When Isak talks about broken promises, it can only mean, believe sources close to the situation, the new contract discussed in the spring of last year with the previous co-owners and then denied by Paul Mitchell in the summer of last year. So here's the situation, basically. Isak wanted a new contract. He spoke to Newcastle. They denied him a new contract, and now he wants to leave because of the broken promises. Let's just establish something real quick. Newcastle in this transfer window have been absolutely pathetic. Even Newcastle fans should admit this. This has nothing to do with tribalism. This has nothing to do with Isak. This is simply the reality. The fact that Newcastle United cannot execute a transfer to save their lives has nothing to do with Isak or with Liverpool or with anyone. This is just the reality of the situation. I'm going to name names. Watch this. James Trafford, Mark Gahey, Dean Huijsen, Kudus, Joao Pedro, Liam Delap, Ekitike, Cunha, Mbeumo, Sesko. We're at 10. How does a football club get rejected by 10 players? We've been rejected before. Manchester City have been rejected. Madrid have been rejected. Every club on the planet has been rejected. But to get rejected by 10 players is surely a lack of executional skills. I'm going to use an example that I've used multiple times before. I'm going to use it again. When United were busy negotiating for Mbeumo, and Arsenal made it clear that Victor Gyökeres is the striker that they're going to buy, why didn't Newcastle just go for Benjamin Sesko then and there? These are the million-dollar questions that no one is willing to answer. In that period of a month, it took longer than a month to agree a deal with Brentford, and Arsenal were negotiating / getting the whole Gyökeres thing done. Why didn't Newcastle just go in for Sesko then and there? If I remember correctly, Benjamin Sesko actually accepted a deal from Manchester United and from Newcastle, so he agreed personal terms with both football clubs, so he wouldn't have rejected Newcastle. But instead, Newcastle just dilly-dallied, decided to go in for Ekitike to try to apparently bully Liverpool Football Club. You can't. You can't. Newcastle United are a big football club. They're a massive institution. And the sporting director is Eddie Howe's brother or Eddie Howe's nephew or Eddie Howe's cousin or whatever the hell it is. What is this, a friends and family group project? This is supposed to be a serious football club. This is supposed to be a serious institution. But instead, they're running it like a show. They're running it like it's their friends. Like, oh, Vel is my designer. Let's go. If I own Liverpool Football Club, I'll make Vel my sporting director. It doesn't work out that way. You have to be serious. And the problem with Newcastle is they haven't been serious. And I thought they turned the corner last week when they announced Malik Thiaw, when they announced Jacob Ramsey. I was like, okay, maybe Newcastle are turning a corner here. Maybe we can finally get something done. And to all the Newcastle fans who are calling out Alexander Isak, Wissa is doing the same thing. From the start of the summer, Wissa has been doing the same thing. Refused to train with Brentford. He doesn't want to stay at Brentford. He's unfollowing Brentford on all social media. Literally, Fabrizio reported it. But no Newcastle fan has a problem with Wissa pushing a move out of Brentford to join Newcastle. But it's okay. Football fans are allowed to be hypocrites. But today, Isak has spoken. And when the player speaks, you put all speculation to the side and you just address the facts. Broken promises. He said it in his Instagram story. He was promised something and Newcastle United did not deliver, which is why now no one can claim that Alexander is the villain anymore. Isak is not the villain in all this. Newcastle United are, because they broke his promises towards him. They haven't been able to execute for the last 2.5 months. That's not on Isak. That's on Newcastle themselves. And today we get something from Craig Hope just before I was about to go live and talk about, essentially Isak announcing his own transfer by saying we have to part ways. Craig Hope comes out and says, major breaking news. Newcastle United now have no intention of allowing Isak to leave in light of a bombshell statement in which he accused the club of broken promises. The club have pursued alternatives all summer, and had they signed one of their top targets, they would have explored Isak's sale to Liverpool, recognizing his desire to be moved on. However, the message from the top tonight is that Isak will be told he is staying at the club. The hierarchy believe they now have been left with no choice but to stand firm. I think this is a ridiculous decision by Newcastle. I'll tell you why. If you essentially do not let Isak go, you are sending a message to any top player who wants to join Newcastle. We went through this pain. I'm a Liverpool fan. I saw when Coutinho left my football club. I saw when Suarez left my football club. I saw when Sterling left my football club. Some of the biggest clubs in the world have seen some of their best players leave the football club when they were at the top. Luis Suarez went on to win a golden boot with prime Ronaldo and prime Messi in La Liga. Raheem Sterling won multiple league titles at Manchester City. Felipe Coutinho, maybe that's the one that didn't work out. But at the time when he left us, he was having an unbelievable start to the season. But guess what? He left us. That's just the truth. Every football club, before rising to the levels where you can win league titles, where you can win Champions Leagues, where you can be successful, where you become a sustainable Premier League, Champions League qualifying side, you have to go through some form of pain. The problem is, like with this whole situation, is that Newcastle want to completely skip the process. The problem is Newcastle can't do what Manchester City did 15 years ago and do this whole, Saudi Airlines, the Saudi Airlines stadium. Like, they cannot do this. 15 years ago, the rules were different, PSR, FFP, whatever. So now the rules are completely different. The problem with Newcastle is they can't execute to save their lives. We have 10 days, 11 days, whatever it is left in this transfer window. Have I lost hope of Isak being a Liverpool player? No. I think there will be dominoes falling. I think there will be moves made. And Newcastle need to do the right thing, which is let Isak go, because he just doesn't want to be a Newcastle player because of those broken promises that he mentioned. And I'm not saying that just because Liverpool are interested. I'm just being completely honest about the situation. If they made promises to him, I got told by Arsenal fans what separates the Gyökeres stuff from the Isak stuff is that Gyökeres had a gentleman's agreement. Well, guess what? We just found out today that Isak has a gentleman's agreement. So he had a gentleman's agreement with Newcastle. No contract was signed. And on top of all this, if there is anything that proves that this situation can't be resolved, is that Newcastle United are not even matching Isak's ambitions. Newcastle United qualified for the Champions League. Your signings so far are Elanga, Malik Thiaw, and Jacob Ramsey. Shiver me timbers. I'm sure the whole league is so scared. Elanga, Jacob Ramsey, and Malik Thiaw. Good players. None of them is a bad player. They're all good players. But are they level raising? Are they Champions League winning? Are they Premier League winning? No. By the time Newcastle, I'm going to actually be very positive towards Newcastle. Let's say Newcastle win the league 4 years from now. Let's say for the next 4 years, they build up and build up and build up and build up, and they're finally at a level to win the English Premier League. Isak is 30 by then. Isak is going to be 30 in 4 years. Then what? Then what? Will he be the same player? Will he be the same guy? Will he still be the striker that he is today? Isak wants to win stuff in his prime. He's currently in his prime, headed towards his prime, whatever it is you believe the prime of a striker is. But he wants to win things now. The news came out a week and a half ago, where they said Isak doesn't want to just participate in the Champions League. He wants to win the Champions League. He wants to win the Premier League. This whole participation trophy thing is not a thing for Alexander Isak. Isak does not believe in participation. Isak believes in winning. And the way that Newcastle are moving, I don't think anyone can claim that they're showing any ambition of actually winning stuff. They're not. How can a serious football club, a serious institution, have Eddie Howe's nephew or cousin or whatever it is be the sporting director? What the hell? Imagine Richard Hughes leaves Liverpool Football Club tomorrow. Are we going to employ Slot's cousin or his nephew or whatever to be the sporting director at a serious institution, at an institution that's trying to win things? It just doesn't work. It just does not work. I'm not giving up on Alexander Isak just because of what Craig Hope tweeted. I still think there is more twists to this story. I still think that there is more drama to come. I don't think this is over. I do not believe that this is over. I will still believe, I will still sit here and say, I still have hope that Isak will be a Liverpool player. And the reason why I say that is I think that the relationship is completely destroyed between Isak and the football club. And I've been saying that for a really long time. And it's been proven by the Isak story. I'm going to play a video from Craig Hope from 4 or 5 days ago. It's just a 25-second clip, nothing that long, so just stick around. This is what Craig Hope said when this whole situation was arising. And this is for all the rivals that just say, pay up the 150 million. Hussam, you don't know what you're talking about. Just put the 150 million on the table. Just watch what Craig Hope says.
Which is find the two strikers they need and then negotiate that fee with Liverpool. I honestly don't think lots been made of Liverpool have got to come back with £150 million. Of all the obstacles there is to Alexander Isak going to Liverpool, I actually think the club's agreeing a deal and Liverpool coming up with the number they know will facilitate that deal. I don't think that's the biggest obstacle here. I really don't. It's more so Newcastle being in a position to return to the table. I say return.
There you have it. There you have it. Newcastle journalist, the same guy that said Isak's not joining Liverpool today. He made it clear that he'll be told that he will stay. Same journalist. He came out and said the price tag is not the issue. The smallest problem is the two clubs agreeing on a fee. The smallest problem in this whole conversation is literally both football clubs agreeing on the fee. That's the smallest problem out of this whole conversation is both football clubs agreeing on a fee. It's the smallest issue. It's not even an issue. And people say Newcastle want 150 million. Okay, tough shit. We wanted 100 for Diaz. We got 65. That's just how transfers work. You don't always get 100% of what you wanted. Now, Newcastle want 150 million. Maybe Liverpool bid 120 plus 10, whatever it is. Bonuses, that are easy to achieve. Maybe Liverpool winning the league, Isak winning the Golden Boot, whatever it is. So there are things that can be achieved, in terms of transfer. So I don't think it's just a matter of number. It's a matter of execution or lack thereof by Newcastle United. And they've been moving this way the whole transfer window. So this ain't new. This ain't like some fresh information. From the start of the transfer window until today, Newcastle have been rejected by 10, 11, 12 players. I don't even remember every single name, so I couldn't bring up every single player. That's the issue. That's why my message on this video, I hope you guys have enjoyed watching, is free Isak. Broken promises, in his own words. The narratives by the media, the narratives by journalists, he's not allowing the media and the journalists to control the narrative anymore, so he took it upon himself to post that story. Free Alexander Isak. Spam free Alexander Isak in the chat right now. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you whenever I see you. Peace out.